Hello, friend. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing another question from our Telegram group member. Why does suffering exist if you are always positive and maintain good vibes? Now, again, if you're inspired to join our Telegram community or our other social media communities, the links will be in the description. You can participate in some of this stuff as well. Why does suffering exist if you're always positive and always maintain a good vibe? Suffering, as discussed in other videos, and in Buddhism, the source of suffering is the carnal mind. It is the ego. Carnal mind is how Jesus refers to the ego in Scripture. They're one and the same. So don't allow your ego to be offended or resistant to the word ego or carnal mind. They're one and the same. It's a interpretation of disconnection, disconnected mind, free will. If you understand and examine, do you ever randomly feel sad without a sad thought preceding that experience of emotion, of sadness? Do you ever randomly just feel happy without that happiness being preceded by a thought of happiness? Examine that. If we examine this sufficiently, we'll understand that thought always precedes expression. Thought always precedes manifestation. So why does suffering exist if you're always positive? It's impossible. Suffering is a carnal-minded interpretation. The carnal mind is not positive. So you can't be positive and have a carnal-minded interpretation. So that's a misunderstanding. It's due to not examining sufficiently the expression of what's going on. If you're always maintaining a good vibe, why would you have any negative interpretation of anything? Again, suffering comes from the carnal mind's negative interpretation. How can you be good vibes and how can you be positive if you're allowing for negative carnal-minded interpretation? They're at opposite ends of the spectrum. How can that be? You could be good vibes and be positive and then have the carnal mind offer you an interpretation of negativity and follow it and then experience suffering and experience the negative expression and manifestation that was due to attending to and giving your attention to the negative suggestion of the carnal mind. But you didn't have to. If you were positive vibes, you could have surrendered it and maintained your positivity. Suffering came from allowing your awareness to slip into the carnal mind's interpretation of negativity. There's no other way. So, with sufficient introspection and examination, you can see that the negative thought always precedes the negative experience. The negative thought is the negative interpretation, projecting negativity on to an otherwise benign, or, in truth, perfect creation of that experience. I used to say benign. The benign was my word. It's not benign. It's divine. Wow. Wow. Of course it is. All experience is divine, and we allow this carnal mind to interpret these things from a state of disconnection and misunderstanding, therefore suggesting it is suffering. Remember, the carnal mind can mistake love for hate and mistake hate for love. That is how disconnected it is. It's not the source of truth, thereby it cannot know it. It only distracts from. That's That's the good stuff right there. If you can receive it. It's not meant to be received carnally and conceptually. That's God's truth right there. Right? Hopefully that's a satisfactory and transformative response to the questioner. All right. Again, if you're interested in guidance, you can contact me via the email in the description. If you're interested in joining our social media communities, the links are also in the description. What happens if you surrender every negative thought for the rest of your day? If thought precedes all manifestation and all experience, what happens if you let go of every negative thought instead of following it and allowing it to create and manifest your experience? Would you be more blessed? Would you be more peaceful? Would you be more you? Yeah, would you be more of an expression of and an extension of truth, of divinity? Negate and replace. Anything that's unloving, anything that's lacking, anything that's limited, negate it, deny it, and replace it with the perspective of love. This is easier to do when you understand the conscious mind's influence and effect on creation, the law of creation. A lot of people talk about the law of attraction. Spirit brings it to me as the law of creation. Think a sad thought, you create sadness 100% of the time. It's the perfection of creation. Think a happy thought, you create happiness 100% of the time. That's an absolute truth. It does not conform. It doesn't change depending on your bias or preference. Once you understand that, because you've examined your own experience sufficiently, it provides inspiration to use it deliberately so that you may have a direct influence on your own manifestation and experience, rather than just allowing the carnal mind to run whatever program you have allowed to sink in due to cultural experience, influence, media influence, influence from other carnal minds who don't know these things, aren't yet already aware of them, right? So keep a blessed mind. If you're inspired to be blessed, that's the way it works, my friends. I love you. Talk to you soon.